Giddy up, guys. Thanks so much for tuning into WagerWise Network. I'm Cowboy, back with another First and Goal. Today, we head on down to Los Angeles, California, November 7th, 6 p.m. on Fox. Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Feels good to say it. The USC Trojans hosting the Northwestern Wildcats. Currently, USC is 6-2 on the season, 4-1 in the Big Ten. Northwestern 5-3, 3-2. Not a bad season for these guys. The line is at 14.5. Over-unders at 50.5. It did open up at 15.5, and it did open at 51.5. So you've seen some love on Northwestern, and you've seen some love on the under. Short trip for me, long trip for some of you, but before we pack our bags and head on out, word from our sponsors. What is Overtime? Guys, I'm signed up on it. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. It's a crypto sports book with no KYC or limits for players. It's accessible anywhere in the world and offers everything from a traditional bookie would have. Live betting, same game parlays, player props, thousands of lines for over 20 sports, plus way more. Now, the biggest difference here is, guys, and this is where you need to pay attention, you can never get banned, blacklisted, or even refused a payout on Overtime. Why? It's all on the chain. You can bet with cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, Bitcoin, stable coins. Signing up takes just a few clicks. Guys, I figured out. I am by no means a crypto bro, nothing to that level. You can use your email, socials, crypto wallet. You can even fund your account with major exchanges like Coinbase or Robinhood. So how do you do it? You click the link in the description and check this out. You bet $10. If you use that link, they'll send you a free $20 bet. I'm taking all my crypto action here, guys, now. I got all my boys using it. So hit the link, sign up, get your free $20 bet. You got nothing to lose. Click the link. Make sure you guys are getting in on Overtime. Let's start with USC. USC 6-2 on the season, 4-1. The losses, both on the road and both to ranked opponents, although albeit one of them not a ranked opponent anymore. But at home, this team has just been an absolute juggernaut. Quality opponent hasn't been great. Michigan State, Georgia Southern, Missouri State. Michigan's not bad. I think Michigan, that's a pretty good win, and you kind of made them look a little silly there. You won 31-13. This team at home, every number you look at, magnify it by 10. On the road, different. You know, if you take a look at USC's offense, PPA margin, third in the nation. Offense per drive, first in the nation. Best PPA offense in the nation. Offense success rate, second in the nation. Pass, rush, third, second. I mean, I can go on and on. It doesn't matter what number you look at. Number one offense in the nation. Plain and simple, in my opinion. They put up points. They put up a ton of points. Net points per drive, 12th in the nation. Points per play margin, 14th in the nation. And it just goes on and on and on. Offensive red zone conversion, 17th. And what can I say? Take a look at the numbers for yourself. Everything you look at is way outplays their power rating. Currently, I have them as the 19th best team in the nation, which actually fits their rating. And they just do their part. I mean, offensively is great. Flip it over the defensive side for things, though, and it gets a little bit ugly. This USC defense, albeit improved from the previous years, still can't stop the run for nothing. 128th in the nation in rush success rate and 125th in offensive line yards, relying a lot on that secondary and linebackers to get some to get up there and get those tackles made. Passing defense, not much better, but I will say this: the passing numbers are going to be a bit skewed when you're up by a significant margin against the majority of your opponents. You're forcing them to pass, and that's how it works. You see, QBR goes up, PPA pass goes up, not PPA, but QBR goes up, pass rate goes up, et cetera, et cetera. But they still do have the 20th ranked PPA pass defense. So that is something to say when you break it down to true numbers. Pass defense is actually pretty decent in its own right. Flip that over to Northwestern. Northwestern, a lot better season, I think, than people anticipated. 5-3, 3-2, considering that they've played the 35th current strength of schedule. Pretty good. I got Northwestern as the 50th ranked team in the nation right now. This is a game for bowl eligibility, and you look at their schedule, and they got a couple easier games down the line. Coming off a loss at Nebraska, lost 28-21, and then a bye week. Prior to that, they had won 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. UCLA, UL Monroe, Penn State, and Purdue. Season really kind of peaked with that Penn State win. A 24.5-point dog, went in there, won outright. Yeah, well, they did some bad things at Penn State afterwards. Lost to Oregon, lost to Tulane in week 1. But other than that, I mean, the losses aren't terrible losses. Tulane's potentially an 8-win team. Oregon's a potential playoff team. Nebraska's a potential 8 to 9 win team, maybe. Their schedule's kind of they're 6-3 right now in the season, and they got UCLA, Penn State, Iowa. So we'll give them 8 wins. They probably dropped that game to Iowa. But point being is that is 3 quality losses. I don't think there's anything wrong with the losses, and we talked about that. They have the 35th ranked schedule. Look at the numbers. Oh boy. Defensively, passing wise, pretty good, but you can run all over this team. One of the worst rushing defenses in the nation. 124th in PPA rush, 112th in success rate, and rush explosiveness, 101st in the nation defensively. And the biggest black eye, opponent offensive line yards, 130th in the nation. Offensive lines get a huge push on these guys. And you factor that with USC's being the 4th ranked offensive line offensively. Yeah, that's a bad recipe. Not a good recipe. Offensively, they don't try to pass, which is weird because I thought Preston Stone was a pretty quality quarterback, but kind of just whatever. It's not the game plan. They run the football. They're committed to running the football. 32nd in the nation in rush rate, and they actually are pretty effective on it. Yards per rush, 33rd. PPA rush, 60th, and they're very clean. 6th in penalties per game. They do not. They run a very clean game, and they're pretty effective in the offensive red zone. 88.8% offensive red zone conversion rate. So that is something to think about when you kind of factor this team. David Braun, head coach, he's not bad. I mean, Lincoln Riley, head coach for USC. I'm not a big Lincoln Riley guy. I don't know if he's even the better coach in this matchup, but we'll go ahead and say he is. How does the game break down? I already got a play on this game. I got some USC first half minus 7.5. I think USC puts it on these guys. I know it's a weird spot for USC. Playing that game against Nebraska, then you get a short week and you're home, and it's kind of not really a get up opponent. You are on national TV, however, though, and you might kind of factor that in. But I just don't think. I think the talent gap is super wide here, and that rushing defense of Northwestern just concerns me. If USC can get the run going and open up the pass game, I think you can see USC put a lot of points up quickly. And I think once they get to that point, Northwestern's playing from behind. I don't think Northwestern's going to have problems scoring. And it's not necessarily that you couldn't score in this USC defense. I think it's going to be because they're from behind. And when you force Northwestern to pass, bad things happen. And you're going against a very effective, I shouldn't say a very effective pass defense, but like I told you guys, the PPA pass 20th, that is a competent pass defense. So 7 minutes in the books, not a lot to say. Numbers will point to USC entirely, and USC really kind of controls their own fate to make the playoffs here. If USC reels off a win here and wins out, they're not going to make the Big Ten championship game. They're looking, though, that they could sneak in the playoffs. You'd have a win over Iowa and Oregon, and then UCLA. Your wins would be Michigan, Oregon, Iowa on a 2-loss team. That's probably pretty good. So I think they got the blinders on. They're focused in. Definitely the best USC team Lincoln Riley's had. Give me USC first half minus 7.5. If first half line isn't there for you, I think you can lay the full 14.5. I know you're on the wrong side of the hook, and you typically don't like that, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think this is similar to what you saw with South Florida on Thursday, similar to what you saw with Toledo on Tuesday. I think it's just a ass kicking left and right. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, and I'll catch you guys at the window.